Before we begin, let us recite Fatihah.
Al-Fatihah.
Okay. Participant. Okay. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Hope everybody is okay. Okay, so this is our new norms. We have to get used to this online teaching and learning, okay, until the end of this year. If everything goes smoothly, we can do online teaching and learning forever. Okay. So I hope everybody is well. So I hope you have a great holiday. Okay, wish everybody selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri as well. Okay, so where are we? According to the slide now, we supposed to continue with our fourth lecture yang keempat. Okay, so today is Tuesday, 2nd June, already 10 Shawwal. Okay, 1441. Okay, hijrah. Okay, let us analyze what we have learned. Okay, new semester. This is our new, what we call it, schedule. So I hope everybody received. Take note about it. So we're supposed to begin our class by this week. Okay, we have done, okay, today. So there will be 10 weeks to go before we finish our syllabus for evidence part 2. Then there's no revision. Then final exam will be 3 weeks. Then your holiday will be in August, end of August until October, 7 weeks. Nearly 2 months juga lah, banyak. Okay. So itulah dia. Next slide. Let us have a quick review on what we have learned for law of evidence 2. Now before that, any question? In case I forgot, you can ask any question. Just unmute je. Dia punya button unmute tu. Tanya soalan apa-apa je. Regarding method of evaluation, I'm still discussing with the faculty. Tak confirm lagi.
Okay.
Tapi apparently for our subject we need to have final exam. So we have final exam for evidence. Untuk subjek-subjek macam sijil amalan guaman, evidence, civil procedure, criminal procedure, professional practice, probate, law of tort, kena ada final exam wajib. Cuma markah tu dikurangkan lah. Dulu berapa? Dulu 60 kan? Sekarang everything is half, so 30% je. So 30% final exam, 70% untuk coursework. Okay, so what is coursework? Tu nak buat apa? Assignment ke, midterm ke apa ke? Yang itu belum discuss lagi. So hopefully by next week I can give confirmation. Okay, so sekarang saya tak nak announce apa-apa lagi about method of evaluation, takut confused. So by next week hopefully I can announce lah method evaluation. But whatever it is, we have final exam for evidence. Okay, we have final exam. And final exam this is not like a written macam dulu tu. Is I think it will be online lah. So nothing to be worried lah. It's just online. I think it's like a take home test.
Okay.
Okay, so saya buat soalan, nanti bagi kat you all jawab lah. Berapa lama nak jawab semua tu nanti faculty akan tentukan. Okay, mungkin 24 jam ke, mungkin 2 hari ke. Okay. Soalan pun tak banyak, tak macam final exam biasa 6 soalan jawab 4. I think I was told kita mungkin ada 2 questions saja. Okay, 1 question 15 marks, 30, so 30 markah. 2 soalan je, final exam. Yang lain coursework 70 assignment semua tu nanti I bincang dulu macam mana. So siapa yang dah buat assignment case review tu tak apa, jangan menyesal, jangan buang. Saya tengah usahakan untuk kekalkan yang case review yang saya suruh awak buat tu. Okay, I think Suhaili ada kat sini tak ada? Dah siap Ada yang dah siap? Okay, tu dia. So macam mana nak hantar assignment? Soalan. Okay. Itu pun satu hal. Kita tengok dulu, kalau boleh hantar dekat Microsoft Teams ni okay. Kalau tak boleh, sama ada WhatsApp ke, individual WhatsApp ataupun email je lah. Apa-apa mode of sending. Asalkan sampai cukup lah. So itu kita punya method of assessment. Ada apa-apa soalan ke pasal assessment? Boleh tanya soalan siapa-siapa nak. Ni satu yang tak best ni online ni sebab semua sunyi je. Sebab tak boleh dengar suara.
For the time being, no questions, Doctor. Nanti kalau ada, I will ask.
Yang lain semua okey ke?
Okay, Doktor.
Ha?
Okay.
You all depan komputer ke ni?
Okay,
Yes.
Doktor. Okay.
Okay.
Okey Semua okey
Semua okay, insyaAllah.
Imran okey ke Imran?
Okay, Doctor.
Ha? Imran tak ada?
Apa Imran dah balik, Imran? Okay.
Imran dah balik?
Imran.
Okay, Doktor.
Okey. Jarif okey Jarif Mak Nasri?
Syarif okay.
Jarif okey bagus. Wafi okey Wafi?
Okay, Doktor. I'm here.
I'm here Imran tak ada? Aduh. Suhaili okey Suhaili? Oh Suhaili. Tengah drive ke? Aduh, tak apalah. Okay, let us have a quick review on what we have learned for evidence part 2 so far apa yang kita belajar. Basically we have covered only one chapter. Okay, documentary evidence lah, to refresh back your memory including me. Okay, so kita ada 6 lagi chapter to go presumption, corroborations, estoppel, privileges, examination of witness, standard and burden of proof. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think we can cover it lah, but within 10 months. We see how things go. Okay. So basically first chapter kita dah cover everything. Okay. For those who joined our class, we have finished first chapter. Okay. We have discussed about what is document, what is content document, what is ancient document, public-private document, apa beza dia, public to apa, private to apa, computer-generated document, document produced by a computer. Okay, and last would be parallel. Pronunciation parallel, not parole. Okay, spelling P-A-R-O-L, no E. Okay, that's things. Next slide. So to refresh back, how to prove a documentary evidence when you submit a document as an evidence in court? So the court will not accept it blindly. Of course, we need authentication, pengesahan. For everything lah. Okay, pengesahan itulah dia. So if you are unable to come to class, you need to give proof, evidence. Then after you submit evidence, we need to verify, right? How to know whether the evidence is correct or fabricated? Okay, because nowadays technology is a lot, okay, very advanced. People can can forge, can fabricate, okay, can duplicate, whatever it is lah. Okay, evidence, including especially piece of document. Document is the very easy to be fabricated nowadays. Okay, how to authenticate documentary evidence? Okay, first we need to prove a document. Second, we prove the content of the document. We must prove both. Once we are able to prove both, then the court can accept documentary evidence. Okay. So I hope you still have this chart with you. By the way, I already give it to you. Okay. So please look again. Okay.
Yes.
So kalau tak ada authentication, apa akan berlaku? Apa akan berlaku? Wafi, apa akan berlaku Wafi kalau tak ada authentication?
Abang tu
Ulang balik
hearsay.
soalan.
Apa dia? Kalau tak ada
Ulang balik
authentication, apa akan berlaku? Wafi?
Kalau tak ada authentication, dia akan jadi hearsay lah.
Very smart. Oh, I can ask question. Sama macam kelas. Okay. Okay. Dia akan jadi hearsay as Wafi said. Correct. Okay. So hearsay we have learned last semester lah. You have learned a lot, right? Why is hearsay? Okay, repetition out of court statement. You repeat again in court in order to prove the truth of the matter asserted. So we cannot accept hearsay because it is unreliable. It's a second-hand evidence. It's a bad evidence lah. It's a lousy piece of evidence. It can be used as evidence in some case, but 99.9% most of the case, there are people are reluctant to use this. What I call it? What call it? Hearsay evidence. Itu dia. And how to prove authentication? As I said, first step you prove document. Second step content. You must prove document first. How to prove a document? Okay, the best evidence rule dictate. Okay, you bring primary the original. Then in absence of the original, you bring secondary. Okay. Then what's next? The method of proof when you're able to bring all this evidence to you. Okay, so how to prove the admissibility? You call the maker first. Okay, the one who created the document. So if the maker is not there, you can call any witness, or you can bring an expert to authentify the document, or worst case scenario, what we call it?
Presumption.
Authentication, ancient document. And after you're able to prove a document, you prove the content lah. And how to prove content basically is the same like the primary, like the how to prove a document. You bring the primary and then secondary. So that's basically about it. How about the ancient documents? If there's no maker, if there's no witness, if there's no void witness, okay, so we want to rely on a presumption. So what are the requirements? I hope you still recall.
Yes.
Presumption
Must not
less than
less
20 years.
Not less than 20 years.
From the moment you bring the evidence in court,
less.
okay, it must be free from suspicion, no doubt, okay, and must be from a proper custody lah. Okay, siapa yang simpan dokumen tu selama ni? Boleh kita percaya ke tidak? Okay, and apa leading case ingat tak?
Senior.
Apa dia?
Senior.
Senior case.
Sinaya.
Sinaya.
Okay,
Sinaya.
Commissioner Mufti of Melaka. Okay, he produce. Apa the Mufti of Melaka produce apa tu? Book of record to show that Sinaya was at this age when he apply for a job. Okay, but the court accept it as an ancient document because the book of record is more than 40 years, more than 20 years. Okay, it's free from suspicion, it can be read, okay, there's no doubt, and being kept by the Mufti Council themselves. It's a proper custody. So it's fulfill the requirement under section 90 lah. Okay. So next slide. How about public and private document? What is a public document? Public document is a document made by a government officer in charge of his government official duty lah. Okay, it's like a probably a government document. When you study public documents, you can see public officer, the best evidence rule is applicable. Okay, the best evidence rule is applicable, and means that you must bring the original. Okay, and for public documents, once the court declares a public document, you have right, okay, to acquire the document, to inspect it, and to use it as an evidence to support your case in court. Okay, that's the beauty about public documents. Nobody can say no to you. Okay. So example of public document is what? I already give you example, so many cases from Agustin Paul punya textbook. Apa tu? First information report, the police report, caution statement, uncaution statement, even a medical report also considered as a public document. Even a simple pass. Macam pass apa kita sekarang ada MCO kan, PKP apa perintah kawalan bersyarat. Okay, pergerakan bersyarat kan kita kena produce document, right? And how to obtain the document? We must ada online system polis tu. So kena isi online tu, lepas tu print tu juga polis. So document tu is itself can be considered as a public document. Okay. And that's basically about it. Itulah dia. And how about CGD? Computer Generated Document. I hope you still remember. What is a CGD? It's a computer Okay, is a document produced by a computer. Okay, so we talk about section 90A, 90B, 90C of Evidence Act. Okay, what is CGD? It's a document produced by computer. Okay, how to fulfill the requirement? It must be produced by computer, right? Nama pun CGD,
Yes.
computer. So kalau tak produced by computer, does not make any sense. Okay, but nowadays everything is produced by computer. So what kind of document can be considered as CGD? Not every document lah, only document yang betul-betul being produced by that computer for that sole use of that computer, in ordinary use of that computer. So your punya assignment, case review semua tu bukan cannot be regarded as a computer generated document because you punya private computer kat bilik tu, I think it's not only for assignment saja. Banyak benda you print. Okay. So that's the things about it. And next slide will be, ini untuk refresh balik memory yang baru join tu. So how to prove this a computer generated document? Okay, it's produced by computer in ordinary use of that computer. Kita bawa satu bentuk perakuan lah, okay, dari pihak yang mengeluarkan dokumen tu, ataupun kita panggil dia certificate, ataupun kita produce witness. Okay, what type of witness? Must be someone who are in charge with the production of the document. Itu dia, someone who are in charge. Cannot be someone else, cannot be the boss, cannot be supervisor. Siapa orang yang in charge dengan dokumen tu? Okay, that's about it. Then we talk about the last subtopic for documentary evidence, the first chapter. So parallel evidence rule, parallel, not prose. Okay, so parallel evidence rule is about what? It basically is about a contract lah. Okay, once you have a good contract, black and white, this contract is protected. Okay, means that you cannot go against anything what being written inside the context. Okay, in the contract. The idea of parallel evidence rule is to protect the integrity of the contract, to disallow people to argue beyond the scope of the contract. In other words, to force people to respect whatever being agreed upon black and white earlier. Okay, and to use parallel, of course, it must be black and white contract lah, written, cannot be oral. Okay, it must be, everything must put in written. Okay, and that contract must be a pure, real kind of contract lah. Okay, cannot be a lousy cincai punya contract. Okay. How to know whether it's a real contract or not? You bring the contract to the court will decide lah. Okay, whether it's a contract or not. Kalau contract, boleh pakai parallel evidence. So kalau bukan contract, maknanya people can use any evidence lah to argue about the contract. Okay, kalau it's not a contract, people can bring evidence. So kalau it's a contract, means that the contract is protected, as we saw. So that's about parallel evidence rule. So parallel evidence rule is what? It's a rule. Name is rule, but it's not basically a rule. It's a kaedah. Macam last semester best evidence rule. It's not a rule, basically it's a kaedah. Kaedah keterangan terbaik. Yang ini kaedah keterangan parallel. P-A-R-O-L. Bahasa Melayu dia. Kaedah. Okay. So kaedah ni pasal apa? Melarang. Okay. Apa-apa jenis evidence untuk digunakan untuk melanggar apa yang you dah tulis dalam kontrak tu. Okay, itu maksud dia. Tapi whenever there's a general rule, there's always exception. Okay, we have discussed about proviso A, statutory exception, as well as non-statutory exception. Statutory exception means that exception recognized by the statute lah. Macam section 92 tu kan, kita have discussed about proviso A, proviso B, proviso C, D and E . And we also have a non-statutory exception, historical background and recital of contract. So we have explained in class lah clearly. Proviso E, recall back what is it all about? Pasal apa? Ingat tak? Proviso E is about vitiating factor. Okay, anything which can vitiate the contract void or voidable. Okay, you dah belajar kan law contract dulu? Okay, so
Yes.
apa yang boleh make contract void or voidable? Anybody know?
Sama.
Hazim, wanna try? Nak cuba ke?
Not attain the majority of age.
Apa dia? Not attain majority of age . That's good . Siapa tu? Siapa yang cakap tu?
Suhaili.
Oh, Suhaili. Oh, Suhaili ada . Sihat Suhaili?
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, okay. Assignment dah siap dah?
Dah.
Jangan buang . Saya tengah usahakan untuk kekalkan assignment tu. By
Okay.
next week, nanti saya bagi tahu. Okay. Okay, very good Suhaili. Like, okay, not attend the majority age, mistake, mispresentation, any more? Imran mana dah masuk dah?
Imran tak ada.
Imran, where are you?
kurang sihat, doktor. So he cannot join this lecture.
Oh, dia kurang sihat.
Yes, he is.
Okay, tak apa. Okay. Lain tak ada? Siapa lagi ada? Adib ada, Adib? Adib ada? Adib ada? Apa vitiating factor dia? Ada lagi tak? Abdul Had ada? Abdul Had. Hai. Okey. Mana mereka ni? Ridwan ada, Ridwan?
Ya, saya doktor.
Any vitiating factor?
Lack of consideration.
Lack of consideration. Thank you, Ridwan. Ain Farhana ada?
Ada.
Apa vitiating factor lagi?
Fraud.
Example of vitiating factor. Perkara yang membatalkan kontrak.
Fraud.
Ada example?
Fraud, misrep,
Duress.
fraud, misrep,
Aduh. Alia ada? Alia? Alia tak ada? Fatin?
Yes, sir.
Any example yang vitiating contract?
illegality.
Illegality. Oh, okay. Abdul Haid, microphone not functioning well. Oh, okay. Tak apa. No worry. Okay. Okay, Microsoft microphone tak function Okay, ada student Microsoft tak function Hopefully video ni function lah. Okay, semua boleh nampak muka ni
Boleh.
Boleh. Okey.
Suara
sir, boleh, sir.
suara saya
Boleh.
Jelas.
Boleh.
Jelas.
Jelas.
Very good. Okay. So collateral warranty guarantee given lah. Okay. I guarantee you if you buy my things. Okay. I guarantee you if you buy my face mask, okay, we protect you forever. Okay. So kalau anything bad happen, you can use it as an evidence lah. All the guarantee word. Condition precedent. Before you enter the contract, you said something. Okay. You must do something. All these things. You can keep that one as an evidence. Condition subsequent. Okay. After you bring the evidence. Okay. After you finish the contract. Okay. You take some sort of promise. That promise that can be used as evidence. Custom. Any custom can bring in. Historical background, what happened when you create the contract in the first place, okay? The promise you have made. Recital of contract is not part and parcel of a contract, so you can bring any evidence against recital. Itu dia. So basically we have finished lah, evidence part 2. Hope we refresh back some memory after 2 months. Okay. Okay, now metropolitan still under discussion. No need to worry. Relax, cool. Yeah. Educational visit. So I'm now that I think we cancel lah. Okay. Okay, I think now.
Totally cancel.
You cancel as siapa?
Totally cancel.
Syami totally cancel Spelling silap kot cancel lah So sorry lah you punya batch tak dapat pergi hospital, tak dapat pergi jabatan kimia lah. So sad, what to do? Okay, we can't do anything, right? Suhaili, kecewa ke?
Sedih doktor.
Ha?
Tak boleh ke buat SEM depan?
Agak susah rancang susah. Kena level of commitment kena tinggi. Lepas tu semester depan all dah sibuk dah dengan final semester tu. Mesti tak sempat punya. Tak ada ruang. Tak ada ruang. Dulu pun ada juga, ada orang janji juga nak buat semester depan, boleh tak? Dah 4 tahun dah tunggu janji tu, sampai sekarang tak ada makbul. 4 tahun. And plus kita entahlah viral semua tempat pun dah macam tutup tau. So diorang mungkin tak dapat terima educational visit lagi dah. For many years to come. Tapi I think we can think ada method lah. Okay, mungkin Syami boleh fikirkan instead of kita pergi sana, why don't we invite that person, that people, that agency to come to FSU ke? Bawa exhibition dia. Kan you all selalu buat exhibition kan dekat foyer tu. So this is something we can think about lah for in future. So dia orang boleh bawa bahan-bahan diorang tu daripada sana pergi jawatan kimia tu ke USIM buat pameran. Okay, that will be one of the method lah. Ataupun mungkin kita buat apa macam online ke, online educational visit ke, camera. Okay, so something we can arrange, okay, with people in jabatan kimia and hospital. We never know. Okay, so I'm so sorry we cannot have educational visit for safety and health concern. Okay, itulah dia. Penat, penat. Regarding this online talk, so we'll still have a few more talks to go. So I've been talking with Shauki, I've been talking with Syami about possibility to convert it into online basis lah. Kita nak buat online. So nanti Syami akan dengan Shauki, Syami akan update pada saya lah macam mana perkembangannya. Syami, I need your help. Kalau online talk ni tolong handle. Boleh Syami?
Oh, alright, sure. Boleh.
Boleh So kalau I think
nanti
nombor
saya akan
telefon
bincang
Tuan
dengan
Faizaluddin
Shauki
you ada
jugalah.
kan?
Apa dia doktor?
Tuan Faizaluddin punya contact number you ada kan?
Ada.
Ada Encik Ravi ada tak?
It's still the same, right, doctor?
Still the same. Encik Ravi ada tak?
Encik Ravi, no, I don't have his contact
Nanti
number.
saya forward kan.
Boleh?
Pasal payment tu kata kat diorang, kalau payment tu memang dah ada dah. Payment is okay. Nanti diorang boleh isi online paper payment semua tu, hantar email kat saya je.
Okay,
but payment I will handle. No worry.
alright.
Cuma nak arrange, minta tolong you lah. Arrange apa, masa bila, time bila. Dan kita nak pakai sistem macam mana? Microsoft Teams juga ke?
Okay. Right.
Itulah
Tapi I don't think Microsoft Team will be using sebabnya Microsoft Team ni hanya accessible for those yang ada raudah kan. So because I've been thinking with Shauki, either we go for Webex, Zoom and etc. lah.
Okay. Okay, I leave it to you lah. Okay, try to make it dalam masa 10 minggu ni kita ada ni.
Yes. But I think we have to do it sama ada Jun ataupun Julai because early August we will be having our exam, right?
August dah exam.
August 10 August dah start exam. So I think either in the middle of July or June.
Okay. Try to avoid, Syami, try to avoid having it during class hour lah macam sekarang. Kalau boleh Rabu.
Boleh.
Kita ikut macam sistem lama lah, Rabu petang.
Yes.
Rabu pukul 2:30 sampai 3:30.
Ikut waktu yang dulu juga. Macam 2 hingga 4 hari Rabu ke.
Selalu kok you all tak ada kelas kan time tu.
Yes.
Tapi kalau nak buat Sabtu Ahad pun okey kak kalau semua orang okey.
Okay.
Alright. Tapi kita try to have a seminar lah online.
Alright. Webinar.
Webinar. Kalau boleh buat poster tu
Sure,
macam
sure.
yang I bagi kat you tu, Syami, apa boleh register scan semua tu.
Yang ada QR code tu.
So nanti I nak buat announcement dekat Info Pro Sim. Siapa-siapa nak join boleh apa scan ataupun register Google ke.
Okay.
Macam you all selalu buat tu.
Alright.
Okay, kita tengok macam mana nanti.
Later I will keep you updated lah about this. About the progress.
Take your time, take your time. Okay.
Alright.
Thank you, Syami. Okay.
Alright.
So I wish everybody the best for Law of Evidence 2 online lecture and tutorial. Any question? Ada apa soalan, guys?
No. I think we can proceed.
Boleh proceed,
No, sir.
Semua okey ke? Semua okey?
Okay.
Semua okey. Allah suara.
Okay.
Nah, siapa tu? Okay. Arham ada Arham? Mana Arham?
Ada.
Ada Arham?
Ada.
Bagus. Okay, I think we can proceed. First question of the day, what is presumption? Apa? Okay. First question. Okay. So what is presumption? Everybody know Presumption is an assumption lah. Anggapan, bahasa Melayu. Anggapan. Okay. It's an assumption. We assume things. Okay. We assume things. Itu apa? It's something inference, anggapan.
Based on probability.
Probability. Betul tu. Okay, correct. Okay, it's prediction. Okay, we assume everything is okay. We assume we can go for educational visit in a hospital, but it remain as an assumption je lah. Okay, we assume. Okay, so many presumption. Okay. Okay, nowadays itulah dia presumption. So everybody know what is presumption. So the issue now whether presumption can be used as an evidence lah. That's the issue. Yes, can. Okay. That's why we have one whole chapter about presumption. Okay. But presumption is as I said earlier, it's not a good piece of mode of evidence lah. The good mode of evidence would be macam document, physical, oral testimony from a witness. Presumption ni macam last choice. I think tadi ada explain dah pasal documentary evidence tu. First stage tadi, how to method of MCT of document, you call a maker. Kalau tak ada maker, kita panggil witness.
Call the maker.
Kalau tak ada witness, kita panggil expert, right? Section 45.
Expert.
Last choice baru presumption. Itu presumption dia tahu last sekali. Okay, because it's not a good way to prove.
Not really a strong evidence.
Because we assume aja, kita assume aja. Tapi mandangkan daripada reject case tu terus, baik kita benarkan orang untuk draw presumption asalkan ada inference kita boleh make. Inference tu maksudnya macam tiny piece of evidence we can connect together, become a little bit strong evidence. We call it a presumption. Okay? Itulah dia. So the law recognize presumption lah. Okay? So legally, presumption is a conclusion based on particular facts, combined with established law, logic, or reasoning. It is rule of law which allowing court to assume a fact true until it is rebutted by the greater weight of the evidence against it. Okay? Alamak, ini kacau pula. Okay? Okay, itulah dia. So, what is presumption? Presumption is conclusion. Conclusion is kesimpulan. Berdasarkan fakta-fakta kes tu. Okay, menunjukkan sesuatu berlaku. Itu dia kesimpulan. Okay, sebab tak ada bukti yang nyata, tak ada dokumen, tak ada witness, tak ada expert whatsoever, tapi berdasarkan fakta-fakta tu kita boleh menyimpulkan sesuatu. Okay? Contoh dia apa? Kenapa Dr. Muzaffar pakai topi hari ni? So nanti you can presume. Apa presumption you nak buat? Kenapa I pakai topi? Ada siapa?
Tak sikat rambut.
Very smart. So, presumption ni because Dr. Muzaffar tak sikat rambut. Itulah dia. Betul lah, tak sikat rambut. Kat rumah nak sikat buat apa? Panjang. Ini maknanya I abide by PKP punya rule. I tak pergi kedai gunting rambut. Okay, arahan katakan kedai gunting rambut tak boleh dibuka. Okay.
Betul.
So you can tengok, this is presumption. Facts. Okay. It shows that it's presumed that Dr. Muzaffar follow PKP, MCO, 100%. Okay. Ada juga orang yang gunting rambut, I tengok bawah pokok dekat rumah segala-galanya. Tapi I betul-betul ikut. Dah 3 bulan tak gunting rambut ni. Ambil kau. Lagi 2 bulan aku tak tahu macam mana lah, lepas 10 minggu lagi. Okay.
Macam OEG.
Tengok dah macam June on dah. Dia panjang lagi. Sebab saya pakai topi. Okay. Sama juga student. Kenapa you all macam hide your face, tak pakai video call except for Syami today? So I can presume so many things. Okay. Itulah dia. You refer pada case PP against Oil Seng Huat 1968, 2 MLJ 168. Now as a matter of law, presumption is a statutory law presumption is a statutory invention. It being created by a statute. Statutory presumption maksudnya ada dalam Evidence Act tu. Semua Evidence Act yang ada, semua negara yang pakai Evidence Act ni ada statute, semuanya termaktub. Malaysia, India, Brunei, Philippines, whatsoever. That upon a proof of facts and inference of another facts can be drawn. Okay, it's a statutory invention. So maknanya kalau ada dalam statute, maknanya kita boleh draw presumption lah. So nobody can say cannot draw presumption to you. It's recognized by the statute. Okay, they're recognized by the statute. You refer to Section 4 Evidence Act because Section 4 embodied the idea of presumption. Kita ada Subsection 1, Subsection 2, Subsection 3. Okay, Subsection 1 talk about apa ni? Whenever it is provided by this Act that the court may presume a fact, it may either regard the facts as proof unless and until it is proved, or may call for proof of it. Okay, apabila diperuntukkan oleh akta ini bahawa mahkamah boleh menganggap satu fakta, mahkamah ada mensifatkan fakta itu sebagai terbukti, melainkan dan sehingga terbukti sebaliknya. Okay, may presume a fact. I underline may presume a fact. Next slide. Subsection 2, whenever it is directed by this Act, the court shall presume. Okay, tadi may. Okay, shall presume a fact. It shall regard the facts as proof unless and until it is disproved lah. Apabila diperuntukkan oleh akta ini bahawa mahkamah boleh menganggap satu fakta, mahkamah boleh sama ada mensifatkan fakta itu sebagai terbukti, melainkan dan sehingga terbukti sebaliknya. Okay, and Subsection 3. Whenever facts, one fact is declared by the sex to be conclusive, I underline. Proof of another, the court shall, on the proof of the fact, regard the other proof and shall not allow evidence to be given for the purpose of disproving it. Okay, kalau satu fakta dibuktikan oleh akta ini sebagai muktamad. Okay, bagi satu fakta, mahkamah hendaklah menerima apa yang telah diberikan itu sebagai muktamad lah. Tak boleh argue that way around. Okay. So basically, from this section, kita ada 3 jenis presumption. I think you have learned. Okay. Subsection 1 talk about presumption of facts, fakta. Subsection 2 talk about rebuttable presumption. And subsection 3 talk about irrebuttable presumption. Okay. So presumption of facts is what? Fakta lah. Berdasarkan fakta-fakta tu kita boleh draw presumption. Presumption of facts, contoh yang kita dah belajar, ancient document, section 90. Section 90 is an ancient document, is a facts. So maksudnya facts berdasarkan fakta is up to the court whether to accept it or to reject it. Okay, sebagai fakta. Okay, and secondly we have a rebuttable presumption. Okay, legally rebuttable presumption. Okay, section 4 subsection 2. Okay, you give something, but later on if you bring other evidence to disprove, you are permitted to do so. You can rebut it. Contoh dia apa? Macam case custody of a children, whether to know whether the children belong to this person or not. Okay, you say that this child belong to this individual. Okay, unless you conducted some sort of test like DNA test to rebut. Okay, you are permitted to do so. Irrebuttable apa? Irrebuttable means you tak boleh rebut. Itulah presumption dia selama-lamanya. Okay. So contoh yang dah belajar dulu dengan Yang Mulia Raja Razif apa? Infancy tu. Apa? Dolly in capex.
Dolly in capex.
A child under the age of 7 or 10. I selalu confused. Anybody?
10.
10 is presumed innocent. Okay, it's presumed innocent lah. Cannot be proved guilty for anything. So this is irrebuttable, Dolly in capex, conclusive. Itulah bukti dia. Okay, walaupun ada bukti yang menunjukkan kanak-kanak tu memang salah, tapi you tak boleh hantar dia untuk hukuman. It's irrebuttable. Okay, so kita ada 3 jenis. Okay. So section 4 provide for presumption. This section prescribes 3 types of presumption, as I mentioned just now. You refer to the case of Syed Akbar against state of Karnataka. All in the report, 1979 Supreme Court cases, 1848. Okay, Karnataka, I've been there. Nice place. Okay. Ni lepas ni anak sama tengok Astro balik. Apa ni, ada filem Rajinikan. Dia punya birthday 70 tahun. Malam baru tengok satu. Pada Yapa. Pada Yapa.
Pada apa?
Tengok tak semalam, Syami?
Tak.
Pernah tengok?
Tak.
Pada Yapa.
Tak pernah.
Tengok nanti,
Tak pernah.
channel Astro, channel 100. Okay.
Atau Hazim tengok.
Alison semua ada. Dah. Okay. Okay, itulah dia. So presumption for law of evidence, kita ada 3 jenis presumption saja. Continuity of life, legitimacy of a child, and death. Okay. So continuity of life is about what? It's basically about to know whether a person is alive or not. Okay, alive lah, still alive. To presume that a person is alive. Death, to presume that the person is dead. Okay, legitimacy of a child, I think everybody know lah. The child belonging to this couple. Okay. Kita ada 3 jenis presumption recognized under law of evidence. Okay. Mungkin ada kind of presumption, but it's not under evidence lah. It must be under other statute. Okay, now so we go one by one. Now presumption of continuity of life, anggapan masih hidup. Orang itu masih hidup. So hidup lah. So the fact that you can see my face here, so I hidup lagi tau. Hidup lagi tau. Okay. Itulah dia. Orang je aku tak tahu. Okay. Sebab ada yang tak respon tadi semua dia. Okey, dah tahu respon. Tapi sebab tu mungkin ada masalah mikrofon ke kan. Sebab siapa tahu. Baru nak makan ANW. Siapa ni? Syami. Nak makan ANW. Bestnya. Ada juga ANW. Rumah aku tak ada ANW, Syami. Yang your favourite tu Conny Dog tu.
Boleh try lepas ni.
ANW kat mana KL? Alah, dekat Jalan Tar lah, Syami. Hotspot.
Jauh kan?
ANW dekat KL ni ada dekat Jalan Tar je.
Wow.
Dulu ada kat KLCC dah tutup. Okay. One Swahili. Mic siapa ya bunyi loro tu? Bukan mic I, Swahili. Okay. Buat ASMR ke mi? Apa ni? Okay. Lori, okay. Okay, I check all participants muted already. Okay, that's good. Feel free to ask any question if you like. Okay. So let us continue. Orang masih hidup. Okay. Anggapan masih hidup. So section berapa bawa evidence act tu?
107.
Section 107. Correct. It's provide for burden to prove the death of a person known to be alive within 30 years. Beban membuktikan kematian orang yang telah masih hidup dalam masa 30 tahun ya. So kita buktikan orang tu masih hidup lah. Okey, membuktikan kematian. Okey, orang cakap dia mati tapi sebenarnya dia masih hidup. Itu disebab beban membuktikan kematian. Okey. Orang cakap dia mati tapi sebenarnya dia hidup. Okey, dalam masa 30 tahun. So apa syarat nak buktikan dia masih hidup? 30 tahun tu keyword dah tu. Okey. When a question is whether a man is alive or dead, and it's shown that he has been alive for within 30 years, 30 tahun. Daripada kes tu bawa ke mahkamah, 30 tahun kira belakang. The burden proving that he's dead is on the person who affirm it. Sama ada seorang itu apabila soalnya ialah sama ada seorang itu masih hidup ataupun telah mati. Okey, dan dibuktikan bahawa seorang itu masih hidup dalam masa 30 tahun, beban buktikan bahawa dia telah mati, mesti orang yang lagi satu yang mengatakan dia dah mati tu. Okey. Ini untuk buktikan hidup lah. So, untuk membuktikan seorang tu masih hidup, apa syarat utama dia? Okay, you kena buktikan kepada mahkamah, cakap kepada mahkamah, bukan buktikan lah. Sebab kalau ada bukti, tak perlu presume. Kita presume ni sebab tak ada bukti. Okay. Okay, we persuade the court lah. Okay, bukan bukti. Persuade, that's the word. Okay. Okay, we try to persuade the court to draw a presumption. Okay, that this person is not dead, alive. Why? Because someone saw him or her, okay, somewhere, anywhere, okay, okay, within the 30 years period. Okay, contoh dia macam kes Surjit Kaur ni dengan Jujar Singh, bukan Jujur Singh, jujur pun tak apa. Okay, all in the report 1980 Supreme Court cases. There was an application under section 107. The issue tender in this particular case was whether on this particular date, 24th May 1970, Surjit Singh was dead or alive. Okay, on the fact that on 24th May 1960, 10 years earlier before the case is brought in court, someone saw him eat chapati, okay, in one restaurant. Okay, so this certainly give rise to presumption of that person still alive lah, masih hidup lagi tak mati. Okay. Kalau lebih 30 tahun, okay, baru you boleh presume that the person dead. Okay, tengoklah dia bawa kes tahun 70. Tapi 10 tahun sebelum bawa kes mahkamah, tahun 60, 10 tahun lepas tu, ada orang nampak dia. Okay, so dalam 10 tahun tu maknanya bawa section 107, maknanya masih tak kurang 30 tahun, tak lebih 30 tahun, maknanya boleh lah. Okay, kalau orang nampak dia 30 tahun earlier, 70 tolak 30 apa? 40 lah kan? Kalau you saw him in 1939, okay, then more than 30 years, then cannot be used lah, cannot draw the presumption. Itu maksud dia. Okay, ada apa soalan? Pendek aja pasal 107 ni. Anybody can ask question?
Doktor, just mere daripada witness je ke? Macam witness cakap ada nampak, cukup ke macam tu?
Betul. Sebab presumption, it's a presumption. We presume saja. Itu sebab presumption. Sebab kalau ada bukti, means that we produce the bukti lah. Yang ini kita presume, we just presume saja. We make an inference from the facts. Okay, we draw a presumption. Okay, itu dah dia. Okay, someone saw whatsoever, itu dia. Sebab tak ada bukti yang betul-betul sahih mengatakan orang ni masih hidup ataupun mati. Okay, walaupun orang tu nampak, kita boleh panggil sebagai saksi, tapi the facts that dia bagi testimoni orang tu hidup bertahun-tahun dulu, that testimony given by a witness is no longer can be regarded as a credible testimony lah. Okay, since it's not a credible testimony, it's downgraded into a presumption. Okay, sebab dah lama sangat, 10 tahun, semua bertahun-tahun. Any more question? Wow. Okay.
Kalau macam kes
Ya, ada apa soalan? Any question?
Sir,
Ya.
witnesses tu dia akan still subject kepada credibility semua tu kan?
Credibility juga.
Okay.
Kalau tak ada credibility, maknanya it's not a strong witness lah. Tapi tak perlu kita reject witness tu, kita boleh jadikan dia sebagai presumption. Because presumption is a lowest form of proving certain facts. You can regard it as that way lah. That's why we just presume. Semua okay?
Okay.
Okay, now we move to presumption of death. Sikit je. Okay, banyak. Okay, so yang ni panjang sikit. Okay, presumption of death means that we presume that the person is dead. Just now we presume that person is alive. Now is the other way around lah. Dead. Okay, dah lama sangat tak nampak dia. So dead lah. Okay. Section berapa? Section dead ni? Section 108, 108. Provide for burden of proving that person is alive who has not been hurt for 7 years. Beban membuktikan bahawa orang yang telah tidak didengari apa-apa khabar selama 7 tahun masih hidup. Okay, whether the question is whether a man is alive or dead, and it is proved that he has not been heard or for 7 years by those who naturally have heard of him, he has been alive. The burden of proving that he is alive shifted to the person who affirm it lah. Terbalik pula. Tadi nak buktikan orang tu masih hidup, kalau nak, orang tu mengatakan dia mati, orang yang mati tu kena buktikan kan. Sekarang ni terbalik pula. Okay, kalau orang tu mengatakan dia masih hidup, okay, beban buktikan dia orang masih hidup, tu yang terpaksa buktikan yang orang tu masih hidup. Okey, soalnya apabila seseorang itu masih hidup atau mati dan dibuktikan bahawa tidak apa-apa khabar yang didengari mengenainya selama 7 tahun. Okey, oleh orang-orang yang sepatutnya mendengar khabarnya, maka kita boleh anggaplah, okey, orang tu telah gone forever. Rest in peace. Okey. Melainkan pihak lagi satu bawa bukti untuk membuktikan bahawa orang tu hidup. Okey. So, apa syarat-syarat nak pakai Section 108 ni? You refer case Re A. Penhas, 1947, Malayan Law Journal, 78. It must not less than 7 years lah. Okay, must not less than 7 years when the matter been brought for the court. Okay, the person had not been heard of not less than 7 years. Not less, it's more than 7 years lah. Okay, more than 7 years. The person has not been heard from. Okay, kalau less than 7 years means that you cannot draw a presumption. So sekarang tahun 2020, 7 tahun maknanya you tak pernah dengar khabar orang tu semenjak tahun 2013. Okay. Last terakhir apa bila tahun 2013 lah. Okay, mesti lebih pada tu. Kalau kurang maknanya tak boleh draw presumption, reject. Okay. Second requirement, the said absence has gone consistently without explanation. Mesti consistent. 7 tahun tu mesti tak ada gap. Mesti consistent. Okay. Tiba-tiba tak jumpa 4 tahun, tahun ke-5 jumpa, tak boleh pakai dalam presumption ni. No person have been contacted by the presumed. Maknanya dalam masa 7 tahun tu dia tak ada siapa. Ahli keluarga tak ada siapa yang dihubungi oleh orang yang hilang tu. Okay. And of course, you have do your own search to locate that person. Kat mana orang tu? Orang tu tak ada. Okay, so all these thing you must prove to the court before the court can entertain you punya presumption punya requirement apa? Declaration tu, presumption tu. So I hope you still remember about this case. Gun Sunteng tahun lepas tu kita belajar judicial notice. What happened? 1987 to MLJ 351. Ingat lagi tak Gun Sunteng?
Presumption ayah dia mati.
Ayah dia kena kidnap tentera Jepun. Lepas tu tak ditemui selama bertahun-tahun, 40 tahun. Okay?
Yes.
Alamak. Saya punya komputer habis bateri. Nak recharge jap. Mana plug? Lah, patutlah saya tak sambung dia punya. Tiba-tiba kan terputus lah. Okay. Okay, dah sambung. Gun Sunteng ya. So, father dia kena kidnap dengan tentera Jepun and tak ditemui 7 tahun. So, anak-anak dia selepas 40 tahun ingin membuat satu declaration daripada mahkamah lah untuk presume dia punya bapa tu sudah tiada. Okay. So, the court draw presumption lah under section 108. Okay. Fulfill requirement tak? Dalam Gun Sunteng. 108, 7 years. Gun Sunteng, 40 years hilang. Terlebih lah. Okay. And the missing has gone consistently. Okay. Sejak 40 tahun tak dapat communicate dengan bapa dia. Lepas tu apa, kalau bapa dia masih hidup, mesti bapa dia contact. Hantar surat ke apa ke, email ke, SMS ke, apa-apalah. Tak ada juga. So I believe the family also have done a search lah. Masuk hutan, keluar hutan, semua tanya-tanya, semua tanya orang. And as a result, so the court allow lah apa and 108 ni. Judicial notice, the court also use judicial notice lah. The fact that masa zaman Perang Dunia Kedua itu ramai bangsa Cina jadi mangsa kekejaman tentera Jepun, bangsa Cina. Okay, because Jepun dia tak suka sangat bangsa Cina ada racist sikit kat situ. Itulah apa banyak-banyak bangsa yang jadi mangsa keganasan Jepun would be the Chinese people lah. Okay. So judicial notice being used, section 108 also being used. So the court allow the presumption of death being used lah. And as a result of that, the court allow the production of letter of administration over the property belonging to the father to be given to the children. So the kan ada juga anak-anak dia orang tunggu 40 tahun jarang okey, selalunya orang setahun hilang pun pasal duit mesti dah orang dah declare presume macam-macam. Ini dia orang tunggu 40 tahun, 40 years. Okey manusia satu lagi kes Osman Bacik 1997 4 MLJ 445. In order to invoke the aid of section 108, two basic things you must prove. Okay, the person must not been hurt for 7 years, number one. And if that person be alive, that person would normally communicate with someone that he or she normally or naturally communicate with lah. Okay, so naturally communicate maksud dia kat sini apa? Macam family members, friends, your lecturer. Okay, itulah dia. Normally communicate, naturally communicate. Itu maksud dia. A person has not been heard of if no reliable information concerning him or her is received. There is no definite rule as to who are the person who would naturally have heard of him if alive. Generally speaking, they are relative or even neighbours. Okay, you can refer kepada case of Do Defrank against Andrew. Semua kes-kes tu ada dalam Abu Simpan. I cut and paste saja. Itu ada. So kalau that person masih hidup lagi, mesti dia communicate dengan orang yang rapat dengan dia, naturally communicate. Okay. Mesti naturally communicate kan. Okay. So siapa rapat dengan you? Okay, family you lah, ataupun neighbor you, ataupun lecturer you, ataupun GF you, ataupun BF you. Okay, BFF you. Okay, GFF apa tu? Okay. Itulah dia. Itu maksud naturally communicate. Itu syarat-syarat nak invoke section 108 ni. But okay, bear in mind. Big but. Okay, presumption of death ada limitation dia. You tak boleh pakai presumption of death 108 ni dalam dua scenario ni. Okay, you tak boleh presume the actual time of death. Kalau you boleh presume actual time, dia mati masa ni, tarikh ni. Maknanya you ada bukti lah. So tak ada presumption. Presumption ni sebab tak ada bukti. Okay, itu sebab no presumption as to the actual time of death. So tak perlu berpenat-penat untuk buktikan tarikh. Kalau you try to bukti kat tarikh, maknanya you tak boleh pakai presumption ni. Sebab you kena bawa bukti yang menunjukkan ada masa, ada tarikh, okay, tempat dia meninggal. Okay. Satu lagi, if the person absconded, presumption of death cannot be used lah. Okay, you tak boleh pakai section 108. Kalau person absconded. Absconded maksud apa? Anybody know? Absconded. Absconded apa?
Lari kan sir, dia buat jahat lepas tu dia lari.
You run away. You purposely run away from that person lah. Merajuk ke, okay, gaduh ke apa ke, you purposely tak nak hubungi lagi dah. Okay, membawa diri, seorang diri ke diri. Okay, itulah dia. Okay, so kalau you purposely, okay, run away, distance yourself means that the presumption cannot be used lah. So selalunya hakim dia akan tanya lah, okay, kenapa dia ni tak dapat ditemui? Awak ada bergaduh ke? Ada bergaduh. Dia memang cakap dulu sebelum dia lari tu dia tak nak jumpa muka saya lagi. Bagus. Okay. Itu menunjukkan bahawa dia tak mati lagi. Dia tak nak jumpa awak je. Dia tak suka tengok muka awak. Dia menyampah tengok awak. Okay. So tak boleh pakailah presumption mengatakan dia dah mati. Sebab dia memang tak nak jumpa awak. Itu. Dua senario ni aja kita tak boleh pakai presumption of death. You refer kepada Osman bin Bacik juga tadi. Okay, 1997 tu. Although a person who has not been hurt for 7 years is presumed to be dead, there is no presumption as to the actual time of death under section 108. If it is sought to establish the precise period at which a person died, then it must be done so either by actual evidence, okay, or other facts. Kena pakai bukti lain lah kalau nak proof apa orang tu dah mati. Actual evidence maksud dia apa? Kalau ada nak proof tarikh dan masa kematian, tu sijil kematian tu, death certificate kan. Mesti ada time tarikh dia. Batu nisan. Okay, kemari ke rahmatullah. Ke rahmatullah. Bila tarikh dia. Okay. Ataupun saksi-saksi. Itu dia. Itu how to prove actual. Okay, time period. Satu lagi kes Lal Chan Marwari, Mahani Ramrut, Grr. Okay. Lal Chan Marwari. Okay, grr. Okay. Where in this course of a judgment, in this case, the court said that, but the law really is that on the facts now, assume that there is no presumption as to Bawan Gir being dead or alive in 1908-99. There is only one presumption that when this suit was instituted in court in 1916, Bawan Gir was no longer alive. Itu saja. It's trying to say that the actual time of death is not the essence of 108 lah. Okay, you cannot use 108 to prove the actual time of death. Okay, to prove actual time of death, you must bring strong evidence. Because to prove actual time, we use presumption because we don't know whether this person is dead or not. Okay, we don't have any strong evidence. Okay, that's what this case try to say. Repin's Trust in 1890 it's also said that the section is designed for the purpose of determining whether a man is alive or dead. Okay, at the time when the question arises in the dispute in the court of proceeding, the section is designed for the purpose of determining whether a man is alive or dead at a time when the question arises in the dispute in the court of proceeding. Okay, it's not to prove a person dead or alive on certain time or certain date. It's just to presume that the person is dead when you bring the matter in court. Itu saja. So if the court satisfied with your argument, the court can draw a presumption of death. Okay, during the proceeding itself. Itu dia. Syami, minta tolong sikit boleh tak?
Yes, doktor, boleh.
You ada rekod tak apa yang punya lecture hari ni?
Ni dah direkod dah, doktor.
Dah ada rekod
Yes.
Nanti boleh tak
Ni
you save
kita
record
punya,
tu?
kalau doktor tengok kat atas tu. Alright. Okay.
Sekali nak rekod. Save tak? Save kau je. Mana Syami? Nanti boleh tak you hantar forward recording dekat WhatsApp saya, Syami?
Alright. Kalau WhatsApp macam besar sangat, doktor. Kalau Telegram boleh ke?
Apa? Tele what?
Telegram. Kalau WhatsApp dia
Besar
makan masa.
Ini pun I dah tengok dah 1 jam 15 minit ni.
Yes.
Kita boleh save kan dalam ni kan, Syami?
Dekat sini pun boleh juga, kena masuk dekat Microsoft Stream. But I'm not sure siapa yang record ni.
I lakut.
Doktor yang record
On my part ada rekod ni.
Tepi logo rekod tu tulis Nur Syada binti Bisharim started recording.
So nanti Syuhada Bisharim kena save dekat Microsoft Stream ni lah.
Ya ke? Macam mana kau rekod ni
Tak apa, nanti saya tanya dengan Syu.
Ya. Okay, tengah tengok jap Rekod.